Yeah, I'll react to that, sure. Hey guys, this is one of those videos that I have to double check and make sure I haven't seen before. Because a BFBS Forces News year-old video on the HMS Victory, I'm like, surely I would have immediately clicked on this had I seen it. But I didn't. So I'm watching it right now. My name is Connor. If you're new, link to the original video, BFBS Forces News, top of the description. Let's go.
HMS Victory, seen here on Trafalgar Day 2019. One of the symbols of our nation, preserved for us all to enjoy at the National Museum of the Royal Navy in Portsmouth.
But for the last few years, HMS Victory has been undergoing a massive restoration programme.
Which means her masts and rigging are down, and a massive temporary structure envelops the middle of her. I've been invited along to see how the work is going. And the master shipwright, Leonardo Bortolani, is going to tell me.
The wood looks, well, this looks older, but the wood on the outside looks so new that I wonder how much has been replaced. Obviously, you have to replace things even when the ship was in its heyday. What is that thing? If you move Theseus' ship, if you switch out all the, is it the same ship? I can't speak right now. Okay. All right, it looks fantastic. I just wonder.
And the master shipwright, Leonardo Bortolani, is going to tell me.
Leonardo, this is absolutely fantastic to see HMS Victory like this. What exactly are we seeing here?
So you are seeing the ship side of Victory with the frames exposed. So we are working on them. You see here there is a localized repair. We have another one here, and basically we are doing these small repairs for addressing small problems on the frames.
So what's caused the frames, each individual piece known as a futtock, to rot so badly? Well, the outer teak planking survived quite well, but water seeped behind it and rotted the next layer, the wood called Iroko. With heat from the sun, this made the perfect conditions for the wood to rot.
They are just turning into dust, and obviously this condition it doesn't extend to the whole number of frames, but is just localized to 30% of. We need to replace all those structures which show this type of decay.
Isn't there a sort of worm, not a termite because they're out of the ocean, but a worm that can eat away at wooden ships' hulls as well? The dampness behind the outer boards makes sense. That would cause a lot of rot. I wonder if they focus on just fixing the things that obviously need fixing, or maybe replacing things that'll make sure the most amount of older, more original stuff stays intact. You know what I mean? Because they wouldn't necessarily mean the same thing, right? If you like, just, oh, this is broken, fix that. If there's one thing contributing, well, what would that be? I don't know. I just wonder how. I would love to. It's only a 7-minute video. I'm not going to hear everything I want to know, but I would love to know just how they diagnose the ship. Maybe they'll get to it in the you know.
Now, HMS Victory is an ancient ship, so I sort of think, well, it's going to be rotting because these timbers are what, 200-300 years old. But is that not the case?
Yeah, no, they are not so old. They are just from the latter part of the 20th century.
So it shows the damage that can be done when water gets in.
Yeah. The main target of this big project is to avoid water ingress in the ship.
Talking of water, of course, this ship used to be surrounded by it, but not for almost 100 years. These wonderful British Gaumont newsreel pictures from the 1920s show HMS Victory afloat for the final time and coming into what is still her dry dock home. The caption says it all. Since the Battle of Trafalgar, she'd been neglected, rescued, neglected, sank a few times, and finally it was decided to preserve her for the future.
I'm on one of the lower platforms here. We're sort of ground level, just below ground level, and as you can see, these futtocks have really suffered. Look at this one, just all the way gone through. This will be coming out. In fact, most of the ones along here will be taken out. But seeing the ship stripped back like this gives you a real understanding of how 18th century vessels were built and the differences between military ones and civilian ones. So if this was a commercial ship, the futtocks would be 3, 4, 5 feet apart. Because it's a military ship, they're really close together. Now the reason for that is strength. Huge bits of timber all the way along, no gaps for the cannonballs to get through. So here's the planking that's still in place towards the stern of HMS Victory. Now, to me that looks really solid. It's really thick. How can water get in?
Well, the water can get in through seams. So seams are the joints in between the planks, and if the caulking compound fail, you start to have small cracks developing all along the ship, and the water ingress is on, basically.
Now, obviously you don't want to be doing this again in 20 years, so how are you going to solve that problem so that what you're doing here lasts a lot longer?
So we are doing laboratory tests on commercial products, caulking compound, painting, and also glues.
The majority of the most rotten timbers are found on the starboard side of the ship, this side. The port side has fared a lot better, and the reason for that is simply that the weather coming in from the Atlantic has battered this side and caused a lot more penetrating water damage.
So how are they mending it? Simply by getting the finest quality teak and oak and painstakingly rebuilding. This building inside Portsmouth Naval Base used to be a rope shop. They made rope here. Now it stores thousands of yards of timber and a bespoke laminating chamber where the wood can be glued together into the right form. Remember those futtocks or frame? Well, this is one all glued up and being carefully shaped. Each one is individually crafted to fit perfectly into a unique part of HMS Victory. All this amazing craftsmanship and indeed wood doesn't come for just a few shillings, and the budget on this project's grown.
We started out with a £35 million budget. It's now looking close to 45 million. We absolutely have to get this right. We've discovered some issues as we've taken off the planking. Some of it, I think, as you've rightly suggested, it was only sort of 30 years old. We need this project to ensure Victory survives for the next 50, even 100 years. And I genuinely believe if we get this right, we can make her survive for a lot longer than 50 years.
And this is what drives everyone, getting it right, preserving this unique part of the Royal Navy's history for posterity.
Leonardo, HMS Victory is such a part of the fabric of England. How do you feel about working on such a historic icon?
Well, I'm glad to be part of this team who is taking, making the best effort to make sure that the ship is preserved. Victory is a part of England's history, and obviously, it's in the heart of everyone here, so we must be really good at doing this.
Helping Nelson defeat the French at the Battle of Trafalgar secured HMS Victory's place in history. The team at the National Museum of the Royal Navy in Portsmouth are now ensuring that history stays with us well into the future. Tim Cooper, Forces News, Portsmouth.
First of all, I feel like I like to think I'm pretty good at guessing where someone is from by their accent, but I can't really tell with this guy. He could be Portuguese, he could be German, Dutch, Swedish, Danish. I'm not really sure, but I guess I'm not that great I'm not as great as I thought I was at identifying that. And a great video, but I'm sure they have to choose between making it aesthetically look as the Trafalgar did back in its time. And I'm sure they could just coat the entire ship with this sort of laminate plastic substance that'll make the ship never truly look like it did when it was in its heyday, but might preserve the actual material longer than just the constant maintenance, And so, the good thing I'm not in charge of the of this, you know, renovations and stuff, obviously. But I would assume you could just spray the whole ship in this like shiny preservative sheen on everything, right? But then it wouldn't look like the ship as much, but at least it would preserve the material more. Does that make sense? Probably doesn't. Just a quick video, guys. First video I'm doing today. I feel a little rusty, so love y'all. Hope you're all doing well. Would appreciate any comments down below, answering any questions I had, or disagreeing with me. Would love to see it. Hope to see you guys next time.